Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's video. Today, we will be doing the YouTuber Hall of Fame. We will be looking at all the YouTubers and deciding which ones are the best. But first, let me explain how the structure of our Hall of Fame works. So there are 3 tiers. Tier 3 is for those players who went from good to great. And then there's Tier 2. Tier 2 is for the true superstars of the game. And then Tier 1, that is reserved for legendary players. Alright, for the icons. Alright, and now without further ado, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Get ready, twirling really at max. Women's coming out of your mouth. Heights and that giving me.
Alright, and before we start, I just want to say that most, if not all of these YouTubers will be, they've been doing it for a long time, right? And, I say this because I don't want to sound like, a back in my day merchant. But, all the new YouTubers that are coming out right now, they still have time to cement their legacy. These guys, we know where they stand. So that's why you're pretty much only going to see YouTubers from like a decade ago. Also, I'm going to turn a blind eye to, any controversy that they may have had, no matter how big or small. We're judging them based off of, how good their videos were, not them as a person. All right, so yeah. All right, and today's first inductee is Sky Does Minecraft. Man, that Minecrafter, that very first Minecraft era, really was something else. We had all these guys, all these YouTubers. We were eating good every single day. Every day a banger dropped, right? Now, the thing is, Sky Does Minecraft was always more in the background for me personally. He wasn't my main guy. However, he was pretty good. Those videos were pretty good with him and what was it? Was it the butter game? I don't even remember. But that was pretty fire. And so yeah, I have Sky Does Minecraft tier up on tier 3. All right, and for our next inductee, we have Dang Matt Smith. Alright, now I don't have much to say for Dang Matt Smith. He was really just one of those reaction YouTubers that was really big, back in the day, think of Sniper Wolf, Fazzyland, Reaction Time, like them, but he was pretty entertaining, and so yeah, he's on here. Alright, and next up we have Blasphemous HD. I don't even need to say anything for this one. I just have to roll the clip.
She is such a bad bitch, though. I will fuck the shit out of that robot, man. I'm not even...
Alright, next up, we have Gento. I remember Gento, back when I first was getting into 2K. 2K16 was my first, and man, he was just fun to watch, alright? His My Career videos will forever be legendary. So, yes, Gento definitely deserves a spot here on this list. Alright, and next up, we have another basketball YouTuber, and that is Mike Korzemba. Now, Mike Korzemba is a little bit different from Gento because Gento mainly did 2K, videos. Whereas Mike Korzemba, he would do these, kind of, not necessarily documentary style, but it's the closest that I can get to it. He would just talk about it. He would just talk about the sports in the game. You could say it was pretty much the documentary style. And, man, it was entertaining. Me who had, just barely started getting into basketball, and being able to learn a little bit of NBA history through him. He definitely got my ball knowledge up. So, yes, he deserves to be on this tier. All right, and now I want to congratulate all of these YouTubers who were able to make it in as we move on to tier 2.
I walk around like that nigga. Nigga on the trigger. If a nigga wants some smoke, I let it drop.
Okay, and starting off with tier 2, we have Laser Beam. Alright, and just like how we had the Minecraft era before, we have entered the Fortnite era. And man, what a time to be alive. Laserbeam was that guy. When you think of Fortnite YouTube, he is the main guy. He's him, okay? Nobody else comes close to what Laserbeam was doing. Let me list off a few things that made him so great. Creativity. I mean, the Fortnite Olympics and all these other stuff he was able to do in Fortnite Creative and Playground Mode. Bring Playground Mode back, by the way. You know, his humor, dude, this guy was so funny, man. And on top of that, he was Australian. I mean, Australia doesn't even exist. You know, he might as well have been a unicorn. You know? So, yeah, Laserbeam definitely tier 2. Alright, and next up we have Luna. Now Luna is the king of the story time. I mean, it seems like, you know, he's been through, you know, practically everything. You know, he's been on Namek, you know, he fought, you know, Thanos, but, you know, with Iron Man and them, you know, he lived to see the second coming. He's done everything, you know. Unless his writing, bro, his stories, bro, his writing is just fire. It's fire. If he wrote a movie, you know, he would be up there holding that Academy Award. That's what he would be doing. So, yes, Luna, so many fun story times, and he definitely deserves to be up here. All right, and next up, we have Pungence. All right, and for Pungence, really, all I can say for him is that his amazing frog and his Xenoverse videos were peak. They were peak. They were all bangers, all hits. Yes, the most slept on gaming YouTuber. When you think of, oh man, this guy is the most underrated of this is who you think of. He is the most underrated gaming YouTuber. Alright, he is goated, and he is in the Hall of Fame. Alright, and next we have RDC World. Now you know them, I know them, it's RDC World. We know what they make. They make skits, and they are some of the most hilarious skits of all time. Alright, and he's in 2K. He's in 2K. So yes, he's definitely on here. Alright, next up and lastly for our tier 2 YouTubers is Steezy Kane. Now, Steezy Kane's main thing was listening to music, you know, in public and having these big reactions and, you know, just some other miscellaneous stuff. It was really all entertaining, you know. So, yeah, you know, I'd say he gets a deserving spot here. Alright, and that is our tier 2 inductees done. Now let's head on to our tier 1. Alright, and for our first tier 1, for our first legend, we have popular MMOs. Now let me tell you something. Some of y'all might not know just how good prime popular MMOs was. Alright? Y'all must not know how good this guy was. Dude, the Lucky Block games, oh my god, dude. Dude, the inside jokes, like Jen being in a hole, oh my god, dude, they were so good. Alright? Hands down, the greatest Minecraft YouTuber of all time. Number 1, numero uno. I don't care. He is the GOAT. Alright, and next up we have Dan TDM. When we talk about Dan TDM, this is one of the guys who has influenced so much of the game for the game. He has contributed so much. I mean, think about it. Those modded Minecraft adventures, that was a generational run. I don't think we will ever see a run like that ever again. He really was just like that. They don't make them like him, okay? He was him. He is the blueprint. And that is why he is tier 1. Alright, next up we have Smosh. Now, Smosh has so many bangers. You know, if the Death Note was real, video games in real life, food battle, a movie, they have their own movie. Alright, even if it was, doesn't matter. It's great. It's peak. Prime Anthony and Ian were like, oh my god, those guys, what they did, historic, right? Hands down. The streets will remember what Smosh bring to the table. All right, and next up we have MatPat. Yes, MatPat deserves to be on here. And as a matter of fact, I have a theory, all right? I'm going to give you guys a theory. I'm not going to say why he should be on here. I'm just going to give you guys my theory on MatPat. You see, it's my theory that MatPat is secretly an Aztec god. Because you see, in ancient Aztec scriptures, they write of a god known as, Aldeon, right? And so he actually has a constellation named after him. However, that constellation is not visible from Earth. You must be, not even in this galaxy. You must be in another galaxy to view it. And once you see that constellation, it will write out MatPat. Therefore, meaning that MatPat is, in fact, an Aztec god. But hey, that's just a theory. A YouTuber theory. And cut. All right, and next up, we have Mr. Goat himself, PewDiePie. All right, and I don't need to explain his greatness, but I will. He's the first ever, he was the first ever channel to hit 50 million and the first ever individual channel who hit 100 million. I say individual because T-Series got it first, but it's a company. Some, right? I'm talking about YouTubers. Anyways, so yes, first individual YouTuber hit 100 million. I mean, come on. He's our childhood. At least he was mine. And man, I loved him, from the bro army to the 9-year-olds, he started the WoW or whatever it was called, I forgot, where would G Fuel be without this guy, right? I actually drank his drink, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, PewDiePie is simply put, the GOAT. I mean, he was able to transition from content type so well. His gaming stuff was so good, but so was just like kind of his I guess more commentary style stuff where he wasn't gaming. I know that was like a big controversy. Like, oh, why'd he stop? But even then, all of that stuff is so good. And man, I gotta tell you, man, this guy, man, where would YouTube be without this guy? Where would YouTube be without this guy right here? That's what I want to know. So yes, PewDiePie definitely deserves to be up here in tier 1. And with that, today's ceremony comes to an end. I want to give a big round of applause for all the YouTubers that made it into the YouTuber Hall of Fame. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, the whole thing. If you disagree with anything, make your case in the comments below. And another thing, unfortunately, we did not have enough space, enough slots for So many other YouTubers. There's so many other YouTubers I would have loved to put on. But hey, we can always wait for part 2, right? Alright. Anyways, bye. See ya.